Hello everyone, and welcome to part 6 of my 3D modeling for 3D printing course. And today we're going to talk all about curves. And to do that, I have this head that I downloaded. I downloaded it from Thingiverse. If you don't know what Thingiverse is, it's a website just full of free things you could download. You can find all sorts of things, but I found this head sculpt by X32 Lapis. But yeah, you can find all kinds of things on Thingiverse. So maybe just take a moment to browse. I believe all of it is under Creative Commons, which means you could use it, you just can't sell it. That's what I'm doing. I'm using it to demonstrate today's lesson on curves. And the first use of a curve that I'm going to show you is just to add simple hair to your model. Okay, so you go up here and you go to add, and we're going to go to add curve. Bezier. I'm not exactly sure. And as you can see, I scaled this model up to be like an actual human head size. So everything that I add is gonna be super tiny, but there'll be a point to that. So yeah, you see that there's this like little wiggly line, and I am gonna scale this up as well so you can see it better. There we are. Okay, and then we're actually gonna add another curve. We're gonna add a circle this time, and we'll just put it off here. It's hard to see, but we know it's there somewhere. Okay, so what can we do with this Bezier? Bezier? I'm going to say Bezier. Bezier. Bezier curve. Well, first, you can use the circle to form the shape of this curve. And to do that, you go here to this Object Data menu, and then you go to Bevel, and then we're going to click on Object. And then with this eyedropper, we're going to click on the circle. And as you can see, it's huge, even though the circle is tiny. But that's okay for now. And yeah, I don't know why. Let's get rid of this for a sec. I don't know why the default shape is like in this curve. But to fix it, like if you want a straight line, all we need to do is, I'm in edit mode right now. All we need to do is, let's see, so it's flat this way. So let's go up. All we need to do is just rotate this on the Z axis. Let me turn it a little bit so you can see better that it's actually on the Z axis. And then you just straighten it out. And now you have a perfect line. And I feel like there is an option you can probably find somewhere. I'm too lazy to look. Now, as you can see, it's a perfect circle. Okay. And it's this big because I scaled it so much, right? At first it was like tiny, and I just scaled it. And that's fine. What I do want to demonstrate real quick. So here's our circle, and if we go to edit mode, you see these like points show up, and we can actually manipulate the shape of this. We can like scale this down so it's a little sharper. We can move this down to make like a little, I don't know, looks kind of like a guitar pick. And as you can see, it has changed the shape of our curve. And I just want to point out this one little thing, fill caps. If you click that, it'll just fill in the ends. And I am actually going to leave that on because it'll be easier when dealing with it at the end when you're like combining all the objects to make one solid object. Okay, so what can we do? First of all, we can take each of these points. Right now there's just 2 points, right? but we can extrude it. And I am gonna extrude it along this, so it's kind of the same. Let's actually scale this down a little bit to a more hair size. And let's extrude it just one more on the X. There we go. Okay. And then now what we can do is change the width of each of these segments to look like what we want to. So all you got to do is click on the point you want, and then press Alt S, and then just scale it down. We're gonna scale this down all the way as it can go, and then maybe just scale this up a little bit. Scale this like, and then scale this to be a little. I know it looks weird right now, but that's okay. And then now we have this, like, I'm going to rotate this maybe on the Y 90. And then on the Z, like so. Okay. It looks kind of weird right now, but this is going to be like our alpha. So we're just going to leave this on the side. And then we're just going to duplicate it. So we have this other copy. And then now we can start kind of sticking this. I'm going to rotate it so it fits a little better. Kind of like this. And then I don't know if I'm doing a great job at demonstrating, but you can kind of see how you can use this to make hair. And then with this point, I'm just gonna kind of curl it in a little bit. Maybe this one too. It's not always gonna be the exact way you want it. Like, this is being kind of stubborn. Like, it's not that smooth. But it's just something you're gonna have to like fiddle with to get perfect. Right now I'm just scaling this to because it kind of like this creates a sharper uh, change in direction. So if you scale it up, it makes it a little smoother. And that's pretty much what I'm doing. But yeah, it is a little hard because you need to think about all three of the axes. And sometimes it's kind of hard when you're just looking at it straight. Um, how that should go like this. That's a little weird. Maybe. When you have like a group of hair like this, and you like it, you can just duplicate it and just move it over. Maybe turn it, and yeah, kind of work smarter, not harder. Okay, I'm just gonna call it there. I know it's not the best, but I was just trying to do this real quick. And as you can see, just with this one little thing, I was able to make something that kind of looks like hair. I know there's like some overlap here. Um, but yeah, I was just doing this as quick as I could. Yeah, whatever. Okay. And yeah, I mean, if I this is very like tedious, and if you want to make it look, it is gonna be very time consuming. I spent maybe like 5 minutes on this. Um, but if you're 3D printing like miniatures, you see how like you can still kind of see like the bald spots here. That's not going to be an issue if you just print this. Like no one's gonna notice, like because you're gonna paint this. Well, if you paint your miniatures, if you paint it like let's say red, like these are gonna be red too, so it'll just seem like the deeper parts of the hair and not the top of their bald head. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, just kind of quick. I wanted to show you one thing that you could use the curve for, which is making hair like this. But yeah, one thing I want to note, you can still change the shape of let's slash to isolate this because we want to just work on this. If you still change the shape of this, it'll change the shape of that alpha hair strand that we made. Um, so it will change the rest. Like as you can see, we just by doing that little change, now she is bald again at the top. So just be mindful of that. I think that's probably where we were. That can happen. Okay. All right. Moving on to the next thing. For the next part, I am going to get rid of the hair because it's just gonna get in the way. But to show you something funny, I'm gonna get rid of the circle first, and then you're just kind of left with the Bezier curves, and it just looks like she's very stressed and she's losing her hair and going bald. So we are going to get rid of all these. Just, I'm not sure why I'm recording this part. But okay. So now we're back to our head. Okay, for this next part, we are going to go ahead and add another Bezier curve. We're going to scale it up to be about, then I'm going to rotate this by 90. And then I am going to go ahead and straighten it out again. And I am just rotating it on the z-axis until it's straight. Then I'm going to move this right here. And I guess I should tell you a little bit of the background. So pretty soon me and my friends, we're gonna go to this Renaissance fair, and a friend of mine is dressing up in like a dragon theme, and I wanted to, challenge myself and actually practice what I preach and attempt to make her some dragon horns. Um, and this would have been a lot easier if it was just like straight, but she wants kind of like a coiled dragon horn. Um, so yeah, that's what we're gonna do with this curve. Um, so first of all, I just raise this, and I'm just gonna get the overall shape, and I'm just extruding. We're gonna go down a little bit, and you see how this curve is like not really the way. All we need to do is I'm rotating it on the x-axis, and then I'm just gonna change this to the angle that I want. Okay, Okay, so kind of more round. And then we're gonna end about an inch above the ear. And I don't know like a perfect way to get this like perfectly circular. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it, and uh, once we make the thing, it should be fine. One thing to note, I was working with numpad 3, so just the side view. So if you go to the front view, it's going to be like a flat line, and then that's not what we want. We want this to be out a little bit, so that is what I'm doing. And then we are going to angle this on the Y just to have that more straight on this kind of turn as well. Like that's fine. That might be fine. We'll see. Okay. So I am going to show you a trick, and it is very complicated, so just bear with me, okay? So we are going to add this cylinder, and then you can't see it, it's very tiny, it's like inside the head. But for the faces, we're actually going to change it to, or the vertices, we're going to change it to 6. Enter. So that now, when you see the cylinder, it has 6, it's like a 6-sided cylinder, not counting the top and bottom. Okay, and then we are going to leave it like that. And then I'm just gonna widen this a little bit. Yeah. And this is kind of gonna be like our base mesh for our horn. I know it doesn't look like anything, but just trust me on this one. Okay? Alright, so for this, we are going to apply some modifiers. The first one we're going to modify is a curve modifier. And then our curve object is going to be this curve. And then as you can see, this is not what we want. This part is very confusing, and you just got to play with it. I find that it's usually on the z-axis. But as you can see, it's a little off-centered, and that is because these two objects are not in the same space. As you can see, I pressed N, item transform location. The curve's coordinates is this, while the cylinder is this. So we just need to make it the same. This is the only way I know how to do it. So I'm just Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V. Okay, and now we are on this track, and if you move it, it'll move along the track. But we want it in the this is like the starting position. Okay, and then we're gonna add another modifier, the array modifier, and because we're on the z-axis, we want to make sure this relative offset is also on the z. So we're gonna put a 0 on the x and a 1 on the z. And that did not work. Oh, the array needs to happen first before the curve. So you see how the array modifier is under the Bezier modifier? We're just gonna move this above, and hopefully that fixed it. But it's on the wrong side, so we're going to go -1. Yeah, let's go with -1. And then with the array modifier, the count is 2, so there's only 2. But if we increase the count, it increases it more. So yeah, this is kind of what we want, but not. We're going to click on the curve. You can't see the curve, but you can see the points. And then we're just going to scale these to what we want it to be. So Alt-S again, and then we're just going to scale this one all the way down. This one, we're going to scale a little bit. I think this is fine. Maybe scale this up. Okay. I mean, yeah, that looks fine. Maybe move this. Maybe rotate it on the wall. Yeah. Now we're starting to get it. Eventually we'll just mirror this on the other side, but we don't need to worry about that right now. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna click on this. But right now we need to change this individual cylinder. So to do that, we're gonna get rid of the modifiers without getting rid of the modifiers. And to do that, you just click on this. It says real-time display modifier and viewport. We're just not gonna do that. And same for the curve. So now we have this again. And we're going to work with this by itself. So it's kind of clipping through the head right here. So all we need to do is press the slash button. That's, for me, it's the one under the question mark. And then now we have this by itself to work with. And what we're going to do is what we learned in the last lesson where we add geometry. But first we're going to apply transformations just in case. It's just a good thing to do. And then we're going to remesh. But as I mentioned, I scaled this up to be like a human head size. So this hexagonal cylinder is crazy big. So if we remesh to this voxel size, it's going to be huge. So we are actually going to go a little bigger. Okay, maybe like 0.4, 0.4. But yeah, if you do this with like 0.1, your computer will just straight up crash, or it'll take so long when it loads. So yeah, now we have this. Let's click okay, edit mode, and this is what it looks like. I think that's gonna be fine because we're gonna. And then first thing I'm gonna do is tedious. I'm probably gonna fast forward, and I'm just gonna smooth out the edges here. Okay, you know what? I'm just one pass. We'll do it, and then I'm gonna use the flatten to kind of just flatten that edge and raise the sides next to it. And these are gonna be dragon horns, so it's better if it's not perfectly straight, right? So feel free to get kind of messy with it if you ever do this yourself. Yeah, we're not going for perfect. We're going for good enough. Going for good enough. Okay, and then we're going to change the brush size with F, and then we're going to go to G to grab, and then change brush size. Brush size, and then let's just smooth out the top there, and the bottom. holding shift. And then we're just gonna grab each of these like corners and just raise it up and out. Kind of like this. And like this. And then just kind of trying to smooth it out right there. And then same thing over here. And again, this does not have to be perfect because it's a natural thing. So it itself is not going to be perfect. But I do want this one point to be the biggest. Yeah, we're just using the grab brush to pull it out and kind of smooth it out. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. What do you think? So right now, let's just see what it looks like. So we're gonna press that slash, and then we're just gonna put these back. What happened? Did this change? That's so weird. That's so weird. Why did it do that? I don't know. But like I said, this is kind of finicky, so work with it. But as you can see, because we stretched it out, now when it's relative offset 1 by 1, that means it's like side by side. So the side by side now is like this tip of this horn. So we actually want to lower that maybe by 0.75. Okay, and as you can see, now they're kind of like clipping into each other, which is exactly what we want. But like we don't want this, so we're gonna lower the count maybe to there, and then yeah, let's just add a cylinder. And then we're gonna rotate on the, oh, nope, rotate on the X 90. Scale on the Y. Edit mode, we'll just make this kind of smaller. Like that, maybe angle it a little down. And then this time to add extra geometry, we're just going to use the subdivision surface modifier. And then we're going to make a whole bunch of loop cuts to kind of get this. Nope. Leave that. Then I am actually just going to do this all the way. Again, more tedious work, but if you want to make something with a high level of detail, it is not going to be easy, especially when someone wants something very specific like a curved horn. Okay, I think that looks fine. And then we're just going to raise the levels up a little bit to smooth that out even more. And yeah, I think I'm done with that. And we're just going to apply it. So yeah, there's, oh, we can actually probably get rid of this. No, we can't. We didn't apply this yet. But yeah, I think this looks pretty Good. What do you think? But we're not done because we need to add a few more detail. But I'm just wondering if I should. Yeah. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add detail to this, and then apply everything, and then add more detail, so not everything is like a carbon copy of this one section. Um, so we're gonna go to sculpt mode, and then we're just gonna probably add little creases. Let's see how this looks. Yeah. Yeah. Uh, uh, but yeah, like I said, do I want it on this side or like, yeah, this side. Um, yeah, like I said, this is trying like we're trying to make something that's like quote unquote natural, even though it doesn't exist. Horn, right? Uh, so it does not have to be perfect. So we can kind of get messy with it, and uh, you're gonna want to like kind of make this perfectly imperfect, right? Like if there's like a line that you make, you're like, ugh, I can do that better. Don't worry about that too much because once it's all put together, hopefully, hopefully, uh, no one will notice. Uh, yeah, and honestly, I should have looked at like a reference image because I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just doing what I think kind of looks right, and I feel like that looks right enough. So let's see what that looks like. Okay, yeah. You see how there's like that extra amount of detail on everything. And this is happening because it's like curving. But I think I'm gonna leave that. I kind of like that. I feel like horns do that. Do they do that? I don't know, but I think this looks fine. Like this, if I were to call it, I feel like this is pretty good. Um, but there is one last thing I need to show you. We are going to call this piece done for the sake of all of this. So I am going to apply it. Nope. Yes. Apply visual geometry to mesh to apply both of these at once. Control A. And then now this is one object, but we do still have uh, like it's not empty in the middle, and we can tell by going into the thing, and then you can see there's like a wall here. We can get rid of this curve now, so I'm gonna do that. And also this is not connected, right? So to fix that, I am actually going to show you a different way to combine objects. I'm not just going to do this, go to bool tool and then union it. I am actually just going to take both of these objects and then join them. And then we're going to go into sculpt mode. And then we're just going to hit that remesh, remember 0.4. Because we don't want to break our computer. Hopefully 0.4 will be good. Then we're going to hit remesh. Okay, that is not what we want. Uh, That's weird. let's check the voxel size. Oh, nope. That's applying the voxel size. Shift R. Shift R. What is Shift R? Okay, I must admit, I don't know what's going on. But something about the voxel size has changed, so I think the 0.1 should be fine. Maybe because let's see. Even that's not that great. But yeah, that's not that great. But if we go in here, we can see that it has emptied out the inside, which is what we want. But this is looking a little too. So we gotta go a little lower, 0.05 maybe. Okay, that's pretty good. You can see that this is kind of like blah. Usually you can smooth it out and it'll be fine. But that's going to take some effort. Like that was one, and there's so many. But yeah, I'm not gonna bore you with that. Let's see if this. Okay, yeah. And as you can see, this is a different color. I'm actually not sure why. It's something about it, being two different objects that you put together. I don't think it matters. I'm just gonna smooth out the tip a little bit. But yeah, let me know. One thing you can do, but you're gonna lose a lot of your detail, is make this huge and then just smooth it out. And as you can see, it does like smooth out like the what is it, like the insides that are like kind of looking not so great, not so high def. But this will smooth out the entire model like as a whole. So just be careful. Like some of these creases are starting to be too smoothed out. But yeah, we can just fix that by making some creases. Shoot. This is like an instance where like a drawing tablet would probably be better. But yeah, I'm gonna say it again. I'm not gonna bore you with this. Probably not in this video, but in maybe the next video, I will show you the finished product because I'm not sure how long this will take to print. I am going to be printing this with FDM and not resin. Resin's my preferred choice for, like miniatures. But this is too big and it's something you're going to wear, so you're going to want it to be more sturdy, and FDM is definitely the sturdier one. But yeah, hopefully it turns out well. And I am gonna have to like change this to affix it onto like a headband, like a dollar headband that I got. But to print this, it'll probably take like over a day. So yeah, FDM printing is definitely a lot longer. The printer that I have is an Ender 3 Pro, which is one of the like older, you know, like at-home printers that were available. They probably have faster ones now, but you know, it's been working great for me, so if it ain't broke, you know. And after I print this, it will take a lot of sanding because FDM printers are very they leave a lot of layer marks, right? So yeah, maybe I will show you, you know, like if you look at it from far away, it looks pretty darn good. I don't want to do that. If I say so myself. What do you think? I think it looks good. And yeah, to just make the other side, we can mirror modify it on this head. And that is kind of a preview of what it could look like in real life. Okay, so we are actually going to call it there. I know this has been very long, but hopefully it wasn't too confusing. And hopefully you learned something. So yeah, for your homework today, I want you to actually go on Thingiverse and just look around at all the, like, type in whatever your favorite, like Pokemon or D&D figures, just, and then like download that file and upload it to Blender and just kind of like mess around with it. Maybe like change, if it's like a D&D figure, maybe like change the weapon on it, or something like that. And to upload a file, all you have to do is go to File and then Import, and then STL, and then yeah, find that file wherever you put it. It's probably in your download folder. And then yeah, you can play around with it and then just modify it in like a certain way. Kind of like how I added horns on this head of this bald woman. Okay, so yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.